All right, it's a beautiful day for us to talk sports right here in the city of Lagos State, Nigeria, where we're streaming from. This is Sports in 60 Minutes, and it is coming to you courtesy iRavelStudios. My name is Olamide Onwuka. Okay, you might want to say that, where's Femi? Where's Femi? This guy is on sabbatical. Well, Femi, if you're watching, I would like to say to you, I hope you're enjoying yourself where you are, and I wish you all the best. But if you come back here, we have something waiting for you. Guys, I won't be doing this alone. Of course, I've got the regular squad. I've got Princewill Oviesan with me. Princewill, what's going on?
I'm excited considering the fact that the Super Eagles are ready to prosecute their game. For the first time, I'm excited about the Eagles winning. Yeah.
I see the excitement all over your face. And guys, we've got the lady in the middle. I've got Opeyemi imoru with us. Opey, how far now?
I'm fine. I'm cool. You know, it's good to be here once again with you guys.
Good to be here. Of course, we know that when it's time for us to do sports in 60 minutes, it's always something special. Of course, on today's program, we'll be previewing especially the game between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Rwanda. They called that match the Battle of Kigali. Who's going to take out the 3 points that is available for play? Is it going to be Nigeria or is it going to be Rwanda? Well, we heard some news that two players, they lost a family member, and there's every likelihood that they'll be missing the game. So much information coming from the camp of the Super Eagles. We'll be talking about that. But first, we'll take a break to bring you the new segment of Sports in 60 Minutes. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Sports in 60 Minutes. It's time for us to get straight to the news. And the first on the list has to do with Efe Ajagba. Princewill, I'll start with you. Efe Ajagba is set to face Martin Bakole on May 3rd. Now, Martin Bakole, of course, had to come in to replace the injured Daniel Dubois against Joseph Parker. Actually, we took a wager on that one. And we were disappointed.
You escaped.
We were disappointed. What do you make of the fight, Efe Ajagba versus Martin Bakole?
Well, for the boxing world, it's all about the money spinning round. For Efe Ajagba, I think he's keep climbing, and I want to wish him the very best. He's also from where I am from. That you know.
Yeah.
So I would want to wish him the best. But I see Efe Ajagba using this as a stepping stone to match up to the unification of most of the belt. For me, Bakole, you know, he did lose his last fight.
He did, against Parker.
Yeah, exactly. But I think most of the promoters usually want to use this bout to keep the boxing fans and some of the enthusiasts believing that a bigger bout is coming. Yeah. For me, it's a bout I see Efe Ajagba winning.
Okay, Okpe, the winner of this fight is most likely to face Alexander Usyk. Now, let's say Efe Ajagba wins, for example. Efe Ajagba versus Alexander Usyk. If Martin Bakole wins, he gets to face Alexander Usyk. Do you think these two contenders, they are worthy enough opponents to go head-to-head against the unanimous, the unification, the belt holder, that's Alexander Usyk? Do you think they can challenge him? Is it possible?
Why not, if not? If any of them can win this particular one, I think it's a more, how will I put it? It's something that if you step out of a place, going forward should not be the problem. And I think we need somebody to match that. Alexander Usyk.
Is there anybody that can beat Usyk in the heavyweight division?
I don't know, but we needed someone because he has been beating everybody blue, black, and
blue.
It takes one hook. It takes one hook.
I'm just I'm hopeful. Yeah. I want Efe to win this, and let's see how that pans out. Maybe he can take a revenge for his Nigerian brother.
Anyway, Princewill, for Usyk is really chasing that fight against Daniel Dubois. He has beaten him once. Yeah, he has beaten him once, but he wants he wants to take the belt from Daniel Dubois. Do you think Usyk can do what he did against Dubois the first time? Or maybe you expect Dubois, coming from that confidence-boosting 5th round win against Anthony Joshua, will just go ahead and be the first person to beat Usyk?
Well, having watched a lot of boxing bouts, anything is possible. It's just one hook, an uppercut and you're down. But for Usyk, such a fantastic athlete over the years, with tremendous record when it comes to knockout, it's going to be difficult when you look at his pedigree. But anything can still happen. Give it to Usyk, if you look at the terrain, I was reading a book. Joe Frazier said so much has been said about Joe Frazier Muhammad Ali, but the way he panned Muhammad Ali, nobody talks about it. People talk about Muhammad Ali because he's one of the greatest. And when he won that bout, before the rematch, nobody saw it coming. So anything can happen between Usyk and any of these contenders.
Like you said, it's just one punch, and then before you know, you'll be dazed and the stars will start ringing all over your head. But let's leave boxing. Of course, before we do that, I'll tell you that this fight is scheduled to hold on the 3rd of May. It's part of the Riyadh season, the money spinning Riyadh season. So much, of course, will happen in that fight. Also, there is another interesting fight that will be involving Saul Canelo Alvarez. And so that match is a double main event. Saul Canelo Alvarez will be in action in the same night that Martin Bakole and Efia Jagba will be fighting. Away from boxing now, let's talk about our very own Nigerian. This man who knows how to do the ping pong. Haruna Quadri. Okwe, he is now the topmost ranked African in terms of tennis. It used to be Omar Asa, but Omar Asa, of course, beat him in the ITTF Challenger. But now, Haruna has gone above Omar Asa. What do you make of that?
I think Haruna has been an household name. You know, we were talking on social media with a particular colleague, and somebody asked her, why is it that for like forever, Haruna has been there and nobody's talking about other people? And she answered the person and was like, see, the things Haruna is doing, that she doesn't think those younger ones can match up to it. Yeah, we have the junior ones coming, they are doing well, but Haruna is an household name. You know, like you said, it used to be Omar Asa, and now is Haruna, you know, topping the rank. He has been doing well for himself. He has been there, and, you know, things have been working greatly for him, in as much as age is not really on his side, but he has shows working. I just hope that somebody can step on his shoe, because he's making it look like
it's just him.
The shoe is too big for someone else to fit in. You know, we had other people. Nobody is talking about Jide. Jide is also, you know, we are always talking about Quadri, and I think that was why that person was asking my colleague about why is that it's only Quadri, and she answered, Quadri has been there. Nobody has been able to step up to meet his match.
You know, okay, go ahead. Ask a question.
Okay, I was going to say that it used to be Toriola and Quadri when it comes to Nigerian male tennis. It used to be Toriola and Quadri. But now, Toriola obviously is no longer in the picture. Now is Quadri. Is anybody there? Do you think there's anybody in the nearest future who can step into this feat that this man has achieved, both personally and for Nigeria?
It's going to be difficult. Opedos mentioned something just now. The junior ones are there, something like Jide. I was just going to talk about developmental program. Table tennis is on the low climb right here in Nigeria. If you go to National Stadium, you just see young men and women coming there to roll the bat. There is no proper organized, structured competition that could bring out the very best. I remember some time ago, the ITTF thought about having schools competition that could discover young talents. Along the line, it went down the drain. For me, what Quadri has been able to achieve is monumental. To get somebody who will step into that shoe will take a lot of zest and consistency from that particular person to get into it. And that is what has kept Quadri going. Consistency.
Talking about consistency, Haruna Quadri remains the only African to have gotten to the semi-final of the WTT contender. He did that twice. Not even Omar Asa, the top most ranked African before now, did the semi-final bet, but Quadri did that twice. And I watch him play. I get fascinated by how fast and how... I mean, ping pong is a game of speed and precision. When you watch Quadri play, does it give you any vibe like this guy is doing something magical with the ball? Like, don't you get those chills in your spine, like when you watch this guy return serves and how he makes, you know, those unbelievable picks when the ball is served? Okay.
Yeah, actually it does, because like I said, at his age, if he's still moving his body like that, you understand. And, you know, Omar Asa has been somebody that has given Quadri a tough time, and he has been able to surpass him. That is a big feat for him. And like we both said that all of us have both agreed that the younger ones need to step up, because a whole lot was said about Jide Omotayo, but he has not been able to like
live up to that expectation.
So it's a very big shoe that the younger ones are going to fit in if Quadri actually leaves the stage.
There's no time.
But it's looking like in 10 years' time, I don't think Quadri is untouchable.
Anyway, it's looking like that shoe, we'll have to look for somebody to walk in that shoe for a mile. But that's...
I think I have somebody.
No, you have somebody. Who's that?
Femi Faraway. He told me he can play tennis.
Femi can play tennis.
He said so.
I'm aware that Femi can play chess very well. But I don't know about the tennis aspect.
Okay.
When Femi comes here next week, he's going to defend himself. But anyway, at this moment, we'll be taking the break to come back and go into a preview of the match between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Rwanda. That match will be happening there in Kigali. It's a tough terrain, but can the Super Eagles navigate that very tough part and revive their qualification hope for the World Cup in 2026? These questions we'll be answering when we come back from this break. All right, the Battle of Kigali is set, and it's Friday, 21st of the month of March. That's when Nigeria will find out if they will get their qualification hope for the World Cup back on track, or maybe they might just be knocked off balance the way they're having such unsteady season so far. But I still have Princewill and Opeyemi with me in the studio. I'd like to start with Princewill this time around, who is an avid fan of Nigerian football and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I mean, Princewill, Nigeria versus Rwanda. Looking at Rwanda in their last 5 games, they've won 2, they've drawn 2, and then they've lost 1.
Against South Africa.
Against South Africa. Now, they obviously beat Nigeria the last time out. This match is happening in their backyard. Do you expect anything different from the last outcome that Nigeria had against Rwanda?
Obviously, I do. Like I said in the course of the program, for the first time in so many years, there's this sudden positivity about the Super Eagles burning in me. You know my take when it comes to the Super Eagles.
Of course.
I see a crop of players who understand the mission right there in Kigali, and I also see a coach who is bringing in a new direction, a new drive, a new prep into the team. I want to believe that the objective is to go to Kigali and pick the maximum 3 points, which every Nigerian is actually looking up to. But I also have a drawback. I know this is where you say this is the typical Princewill. We're not used to scoring early goals in games. I just hope we'll be able to take advantage of scoring early goals right there in Rwanda. We have what it takes. We have the little strikers that can do the damage to any team. You have Ademola Lookman, you have Osimhen, and the midfield is also compact. My worries has always been the linkage between the midfield and the attack. But over time, we've seen that sudden synchronization and synergy, harmonizing between the midfield and the attack. So it's a mission possible.
Mission possible. I love that, the positivity. But Opeyemi, put yourself in Eric Shell's position. Who would be the starters for your midfield position? Looking at the array of options we have. You have Alexi Iwobi, you have Raphael Onyedika. I mean, you have what's his name? You have
Wilfred
Ndidi. Who would you be starting? Alexi Iwobi, Alassane Yusuf. Options. Who would you rather pick? Because they said football is a game that is most likely won in the midfield. So it's going to be a very tough midfield battle. Who would you be going for in the midfield position?
For me, I think for Eric Chell, because he's taking the team for the first time, and I think for the boys it will be a new bounce in the team. But I think he wants to sit with what has been used before now. Iwobi will always start, because Iwobi's best time has been in the Super Eagles. When it comes to the Super Eagles, Iwobi plays very well. I think Iwobi is going to get started. And I think with friend Ndidi too will get started. I don't know for Joe Aribo and Alassane.
So who would you pick, Princewill? Would you rather opt for Aribo or Alassane to give you that fluidity in your midfield?
Well, you don't change the winning team, even if we've not actually won most of our game. But there's this understanding between Alex Iwobi and Wilfred Ndidi. And, you know, Wilfred Ndidi being a defensive midfielder understands when to hold back, when Iwobi moves forward. So I think I want to go with Wilfred and Alex.
Okay, now let's still stick with you. For the attacking position, we have Osimhen obviously as the number 9. But both flanks, which players would you be opting for as your you know, the guys to spice that creativity from both sides? Moses Simon is there. Obviously, who would you be taking from both left and right?
Well, for me, I have always been a critic of the Eagles not playing from the wing. If you look at the original formation of the Super Eagles or the Green Eagles, it has always been from the wing. That's where we had the greats of Shegun Odegbami, Finidi George, what's his name, Tijani Babangida, Dimeji Lawal. There's this other left footer. I played with him of recent, Friday Elaho. You see, when you have the wingers in full swing, it gives the attackers a breathing space to organize themselves. So if we come from the wings, it will give us an advantage. And I want to see Moses Simon coming out from that particular wings with the quick runs and fast passes.
Ademola Lookman is a name that everybody will definitely not forget in a hurry. He's the reigning African Footballer of the Year. He has a vital role to play in this team, don't you think, Opeyemi?
Yeah. In as much as he has a vital role, same with other players. Everybody have their part to play. You know, we can't turn into a Merlin, putting the 200 Nigerians problem in his shoulder. So because he won African Player of the Year. No. I think everybody have a part to play. And I think all eyes will be on Victor Osimhen. Ademola Lookman might be the African best player of the year. But all eyes are on Osimhen. And don't forget that Osimhen has not played any of the qualifiers to the World Cup. The African Cup he has played, but for the World Cup he has not played any of the qualifiers. So he's optimistic. Everybody is looking out for him. All eyes will be on him. But for Ademola Lookman, I expect him to do wonders.
I expect him to do wonders. Princewill, there's a news that came from the Rwandan camp about 2 of their players, very important players, losing somebody who are very dear to them. But do you think the psychological aspect of this game would affect the entire team balance of Rwanda against Nigeria?
Olamide, you just did something. I have always refused to talk about psychology in a thing.
But I will bring it. I will always bring it.
You've just done that. For me, that is one big deficit the Super Eagles had not taken advantage of. Psychology plays a key role. I was with somebody on set yesterday in a different show, and the guy gave me a very typical example of how the Brazilians usually psych up themselves. They pick up weaker teams, beat them 6-0, 12-0, and when they come across the bigger stronger teams, that determination and that ego to score more and do more comes in. For me, the Rwandans have come to show that, like what we were saying before we come on set, myself and Opeyemi, there are no more minors in African football. Let's leave it to African football. Every team wants to make a name for itself. For the Rwandans, when they came here and picked up that victory, it was a big boost.
Even though there was seemingly nothing at stake.
Yes. It was a psychological upgrade for them that we could play Super Eagles with all the arrays of stars. Going back to Kigali, it will also spur them on. The 2 players who are not actually in the team right now are just part of the team. They have other players too who will bring in their contribution. Like what Opeyemi said, it's a compartment. The whole players in the team had to bring in their own. So for the Rwanda national team, yes, those are 2 key pivotal players, but the coach actually understands the tactics is going to bring to bear. So the team will come to play.
Talking about tactics, and we have to talk about the 2 managers now. This is obviously Eric Chell's first game as the coach of Super Eagles. Of course, he's taking on the coach of Rwanda, who has been with this side for more than a year. Now, looking at the tactical news of both managers, one has navigated the win against Nigeria. He did that in our backyard, beat Nigeria. You understand? They were a goal down. They came back. Nothing can be as morale boosting as that. To come back from a goal down against Nigeria.
Nobody saw that.
And nobody.
So, Opeyemi, don't you think it will now boil down to the tactical news of the managers here? It might just be that the substitution of the manager might be the difference maker, or maybe the lineup of these managers, both of them, might be what will win the game for them.
I think Eric Chell, before collecting this particular job, he knows what is at stake, which is qualifying the team for the World Cup. And I believe, he must have watched clips, even if he doesn't know about how the Rwandans beat Super Eagles in Uyo, he must have watched clips or he must have been told. I think this is the time for him to, get back at the Rwandans. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what tactics he's going to apply. The thing is, get the job done, and which I feel he should do.
Personally, I'm hoping that the Super Eagles, like Princewill said, will start, exploring or exploiting the weaknesses of flanks. Because look at modern day football now. Look at Barcelona, for example. You have Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. You go to Real Madrid, you have Vinicius and Mbappe and Rodrigo. These are players that operate from the flanks. You look at France, you have a lot of options from the flanks. Like Princewill said, we've not really seen that, Nigeria exploiting that
from the flanks.
Flank football, which I feel is a problem. So Eric Schell is left with the option of playing a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 at this instance. Princewill, you're Eric Schell. A lot is at stake. This match can actually bring back, the hopes of qualifying for the World Cup. Or it can kill it, depending on the outcome.
No, please don't bring the kill it.
No.
Don't kill my spirit.
No, we have to be objective here, right?
I want to be Femi today. I want to be Femi today. I'm positive.
Yes. You have to be
we should be optimistic.
Too.
There are some people who will tell you that Super Eagles, they've not really given us that joy in recent times.
It's a fact.
This is a fact.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
So, but if you want to put yourself in the coach's position right now, this is a make or break match. It's not a good position for him as his first game, but this is the reality of the job at stake. Win, get praises from Nigerians, lose, and then you get compared with the others. Do you have anything contrary to that before I take your prediction?
No. You just said something. You see, we have one joker, Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Turkey League, but since Victor moved to Turkey, I have watched all his games. Fortunately, some satellite TV do pick up those games, and I quickly get on board and I watch them. Now, with a Victor Osimhen in our team, it's a plus. On air, on the ground, he's ready to go.
It gives those defenders something to think about.
So when you have an attacker who can run the flanks and pull those crosses, Victor is ready to go any height. So it's an advantage, and I think Eric Schell should tap into that by giving proper instruction. Okay, if I was Eric Schell, all I need to do is take the ball to the wings and run down the flanks and put in your crosses.
All right, Battle of Kigali starts 5 p.m. Nigerian time on Friday. We are obviously rooting for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm going to be taking the prediction of the guys and ask them if they'll be willing to place a wager with me.
Why would we place a wager? We all want Eagles to win. Or do you want Eagles to lose?
No, I'm like, I want to stand in the middle here.
Why?
I want to stand in the middle. I might be a Nigerian, but I've learned. They say no expectations, no disappointment.
Nobody does it better than me.
No expectation, no disappointment.
You're not being one critic of the Super Eagles.
I know you. So, Princewill, let's start with you. What's your prediction for the game?
2-1.
Who wins?
In favor of Super Eagles, because I know the Rwandans will score. Yes.
Okay, Alpha.
When they were coming to the camp, you see Eric Schell at the door of the hotel begging them, like hugging them. That hugged me something. Hey, please, your work will not spoil. Something all those kind of things. So I felt for the guy because he took up the most difficult job, and I want him to win. Anyways, I'll go with Princewill
2-1. Why you agree with Princewill?
No, that has been my prediction.
No, because even Princewill is surprising me.
Why? And that was the same prediction.
But Princewill is surprising. Are you not surprised by Princewill?
I'm not surprised.
No, you're not surprised.
He's an ardent fan of the.
But he's also a number one critic of the Super Eagles.
Yes, that is right. You have to be logical sometimes.
Princewill.
You have to.
Is everything okay?
I am
real.
real.
Want a cup of water?
Check me out. I'm real.
Okay.
See,
in as much as we are criticizing the national team, because we owns it. It's our own.
Yes.
But we have to think positive too. So I'm going with him 2-1.
2-1, guys. Do you want to hear my own prediction?
Obviously.
All right. So I'm also going for 2-1.
Olamide.
I was about to sit on the
I got you. I know you guys were thinking Olamide will do something different, but actually I'm rooting for the Super Eagles win, and I'm also hoping that we can exploit the weaknesses, because obviously Nigeria still remains Nigeria, and I'm sure we share the same news. On a good day, no team in Africa should be able to challenge Nigeria. Who you be now? Anyways, we've previewed the Super Eagles game, but there are still lots of games coming up over the weekend. Interesting matchups. No club football this week, but of course there will be MPFL matches, and also there will be qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, both for Africa, Europe, and also South America. So we'll be taking a look at some of the matches that will be happening this weekend, and also give our predictions in the next segment. Of course, this is Sports in 60 Minutes. We'll be right back for our third and final segment. All right, welcome back to Sports in 60 Minutes. Let's quickly tell you that you can be part of this exciting conversation on our social media. All you need to do is just follow us, all right? It's scrolling there. Just see it and click the link and follow us on social media. Let's get your contribution, your take. You want to comment on Princewill's prediction or maybe Opeyemi, but somehow we also had this, have you guys observed that we predicted the same outcome of match for the Super Eagles game? 2-1.
Yeah. That's the self-belief.
That's the unity.
That's the self-belief.
There's something happening today, and I can feel it. I feel it. I feel it inside of me. Anyway, guys, let's go and look at some of the matches that will be on display today. We'll start off in the MPFL. Yesterday, the last time we were here, I told you guys about Ikorodu City. Okay.
They didn't lose.
No.
They didn't lose.
I said something. If Femi was here, I would have told him. I said, see, draw, I win. Remember I said that.
Don't be using this your draw.
No.
I said it. This your draw you win. This your draw you win.
I'm telling you.
Don't be using it.
Okay, I said Ikorodu City will not beat Enyimba.
You said draw you win. That was where we said
it. I said it now. Didn't I say it?
You said it. I remember.
You should have stand in one place.
Win or
draw.
Anyway.
Win or lose.
So what was the outcome? Ikorodu City. You see? You saw the game as well.
Yeah, I saw the game. It was actually a good game. Ikorodu scored first, and Enyimba returned after the break.
Yeah.
And Enyimba stormed them.
Scored two.
And, I think the guys were sleeping. The guys were like, okay, they got the games in their hand.
Yeah.
And there was just like 2 seconds of, they were not concentrating.
Magic.
And Enyimba considered that goal.
Yeah.
And they would have run away
with the 3 points.
With the 3 points.
Sad for them though. I told you I support Enyimba. That's like the team my dad is Abia State.
So that is why you're bringing this
Enyimba, no, forget
this your draw you win.
Enyimba, Nzogbu.
That's why you're bringing this your draw you win.
Nzogbu, we know they lose for Lagos.
Okay.
So anyway, let's go straight to our first match on display, and that's the game between Lobby Stars and the league leaders, Remo. Okay.
I think that game will not be played, basically because Remo Star tendered a complaint to the MPFL board that 2 of their goalkeepers are away in the national team. Their first choice goalkeeper plays for Benin Republic, while Bankole is for the Super Eagles. I think they had the 3rd choice goalkeeper injured. So it seems they registered only 3 goalkeepers. There was an argument with a couple of colleagues yesterday in a particular place, and we were talking about it like on a normal day, teams should not be registering just 3 goalkeepers. And I think MPFL, maybe they didn't notify, they didn't factor that. I think that is the English. Thank you, Olamide. So they are trying to like some are for against, some are for. But for me, I was like, well. Since MPFL has given them the go ahead, they made a complaint and they granted them the distance. So I don't think that game is going to go on. Is that
a reasonable ground for you to suspend an MPFL match?
No. I think whatever MPFL has done is based on compassion. You have number of players you're supposed to register. So every game must go on as agreed. But if they've actually granted Remo Stars on that ground, it's on compassion. Mind you, Nigerian pattern, some other people too force.
Of course, we know that. But of course, we'll be keeping tabs concerning the outcome of that particular game, what will eventually happen. But another game on display is Rivers United versus Ikorodu City. I purposely brought this game up because of, a lot of reason. Ikorodu City, they drew their last match. Whether we like it or not, they are still in contention for the MPFL title
ticket
and also the continental ticket. Princewill, what do you think will happen in that game? Ikorodu City traveling to Rivers United.
I'm excited considering the development curiosity is passing through. Nobody expected them to be at this level. That's the simple truth, especially me, with what happened to Sporting Lagos. So, young boys, zealous, dogged, rugged, and ready to go. But against the Rivers United side that Josh Finidi has a lot to prove, even if they've not been doing well. They're also in contention for the league and also for a ticket. So, and when you go to that Amasemeka Stadium, the fans are always very, very crazy. And the vociferous shout of we want goal for 90 minutes is another advantage. I see Rivers United having a victory over Ikorodu.
A victory over Ikorodu City. Where do you differ?
I'm looking at a draw.
So you're going for a draw?
Yes.
Out and out. No maybe, no but. Let's move on now to Europe and look at the qualifiers that will be in Europe before we come back home to Africa. For example, England. This is the first match for Thomas Tuchel as manager of England since his appointment. Princewill, do you think that Thomas Tuchel against Albania, you would expect that, of course,
outright win, right?
Outright win.
It has always been that way.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting to see something different with these three Lions. You know, you're having for the very first time an outsider coming to the three Lions. He's bringing in a new culture, a new perception, and news filtering in is the players are ready to listen to whatever Tuchel is bringing in, and he's a coach who takes no nonsense. So that sort of English attitude where it doesn't matter is behind the door right now. So it's going to be a different ball play, different game tactics.
For a manager that, I mean, let's look at England now. Gareth Southgate took them to the semi-final of the World Cup, took them to the final of the Euros. Twice. They came second, nearly has been the case of England. So do you think anything other than winning a competition for Thomas Tuchel will be regarded as failure?
Yes, because the English have been hungry for a title. Nearly cannot kill a bird. You can see what they did to their countryman. Took them to final twice and came second. They don't care about that. They want the title. It's coming home. Maybe finally.
When will he come home?
Maybe finally Thomas Tuchel will make it finally come home.
Okay, let's look at the other match that we have on list. It's going to be the game between Israel and Norway. Ireland will be in action. Odegaard will also be in action. Solot will be in action. These are fantastic players. I mean, but I'm also hoping that we can see some beautiful football on display. Don't write Israel off. Their country might be bombarding one country like that, but it's still Israel against.
They don't have a strong pedigree.
Do you think so?
When it comes
Israel has actually
football,
been good in.
They don't have a strong pedigree. How many times have they been to the Euro? How many times have they qualified? I'm Ogbale 9MB. Leave them.
All right, let's go now to Africa and look at some of the qualifiers that will be happening this weekend. We have the game between Sudan and Senegal. Senegal, what's your prediction for
Senegal?
Sudan against Senegal, okay?
Senegal
as well. Okay, Rwanda against Nigeria. We've obviously dealt with that. We have Botswana against Algeria. That's a very tricky game. Princewill, Botswana against Algeria.
Yes, tricky because the Botswana, they're actually making so much sense when it comes to sports restructuring. But if you look at the pedigree of the Algerians and with the caliber of players they have, I think I'll give it to Algeria. Though they're playing away.
Yeah, they're playing away. And you know, one thing about, you said something that there are no men in African football anymore.
We see it over the couple of years, the African Nations Cup, where team come and,
Who expected Cape Verde to go all the way?
I did.
You did?
Honestly, there are tapes.
Was it because of Nsue?
No, I did. And a lot of people were seeing me as a comical fellow. I did. I was only saying Cape Verde would get to the second round of the Nations Cup, and they did.
They did, yeah. Okay, so you are picking a win for Algeria. Okay, how about you?
Algeria
as well. Away win. Burundi and Ivory Coast.
The elephants. Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Ivory Coast.
What do they do like this now? So now they see surprise for none.
I am a master of element of surprise, but some of these games, forget it.
Okay.
Everybody's hungry.
If you could predict that one very easily, let's look at this one now. South Africa against Lesotho.
I want a draw in that game.
Very possible a draw. But you see, with the way things are going, the South Africans are going to be very, very political in all their games, and they're playing at home.
They are.
So there's no way Lesotho want to pick
South
that
Africa have actually, they've not been bad in their qualifiers.
Yes.
They've not been really bad. They've been winning and sometimes getting draw. And they score lots of goals.
Yes, they do. They do.
They score lots of goals.
They play from the wings.
Yeah,
they play from the wings.
They have very fast-paced players. Pasital, very good guy. And remember what they did in the Africa Cup of Nations before they were knocked out by Nigeria. So I think they've been on this pedestal with their coach, Hugo Bruce. He's been very good with them. Also, our final game for display for Africa, we have the game between Ethiopia and Egypt. Egypt all the way. Unanimous decision. Okay, let's go now to South America, where we have Brazil against Colombia. Brazil, the Samba boys, will be playing against Colombia. Okay.
This is war.
Brazil against Colombia. It's a very tough match.
The Colombians are giving the Brazilians a run for their money several times.
Check.
The Colombians gave Argentina a run for their money.
For real.
So I think I'm going for a draw.
Brazil have been very inconsistent in this qualifiers.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give it to Brazil. I'm going to watch this game, but I want to give it to Brazil.
But they are playing at home.
Yes, they're playing at home.
That should be a good reason for them.
I want to give it to Brazil.
Okay. I also pick Brazil anyway. And our final match is the game between Uruguay and Argentina. Uruguay and Argentina.
You see the two of us breathe in this crowd. Well, the Uruguayans are actually making bold statements.
Yeah.
Messi is not playing.
He's not.
Not that it makes any difference. But with him there's always this cloud and this panache. I'm giving it a draw.
A draw for Uruguay against Argentina?
Yes.
Okay.
Also a draw.
You think a draw?
Yeah.
Okay. So this weekend, lots of interesting matchups. Of course, we've given our takes on the games that we will be previewing, of course. But then we cannot end this show without finding out what the guys have planned for their weekend. Okay, let's start with you. Ladies first. We don't be like, say, I no ask. I started the show with Princewill, but ladies first. What's your plan for the week? For weekend?
Nothing much. Just sit at home, watch the all the matches if I can. But most especially watch my darling Super Eagles.
Super Eagles game tomorrow. Let's say Friday. Princewill, what will you be doing?
I don't have much this weekend, but I'm going to watch as much game as I can, just like what wants to do. But my biggest focus and my biggest prayer is for the Super Eagles to win this weekend.
Yeah, we're all praying for the Super Eagles to win. All right, thank you very much, Princewill and Opey. It's been an amazing ride on the show. I've really enjoyed myself.
Pleasure being here.
And guys, be sure to catch the match between Nigeria and Rwanda. That game is happening, of course, in Kigali. We are praying for our darling Super Eagles to get all 3 points at stake to revive their, World Cup hopes. And also be sure to follow us on our social media. We will be glad to get feedbacks from you, to tell us what we're doing right and what you would love to see on the show. My name again is Olamide Onwuka, and from the entire production crew right here of Sports in 60 Minutes, we're saying have a beautiful day and ciao.